Hi everyone, Teacher Azima here. Today we will be covering on the overall concepts of characteristics of living things. So you can look that we have covered individual concepts, and now there are many times in science examination questions, they will combine or they will test on two or more concepts or characteristics of living things. So let's look at this question. Here, study the characteristics of A, B, C, and D as shown below. So we can see these are all the characteristics of living things. Right? And we have the A, B, C, and D. So looking at this, we need to see which statements are true. So based on this also, we need to determine which would be the answer. Respond to changes, we do know that only for living things, they will respond to changes, move from place to place, reproduce, and make its own food. So they mentioned that A is a bacteria. So if we look at A that respond to changes, it does not move from place to place, does not reproduce, does not mix its own food. This is wrong because bacteria is also part of living things. For B and D are living things. B respond to changes, move from place to place, and reproduce. And then for D, respond to changes, reproduce, and make its own food. Okay. So here we can determine if this is part, because one of it, for example, for living things, we do know that there's respond to changes, move from place to place, reproduce, and make its own food. So D depends on other living things for food. We do know that. Okay. For D, depends on other living things for food, definitely not, because it makes its own food for D. So B and C are alive, okay, as they can move from place to place. And this is true because the tick is available for these two. Okay, so for part 2, living things is wrong because not enough information to tell you that B and D are living things. Okay? Because after all, living things respond to changes, move from place to place, okay, for animals, and then reproduce and makes its own food only applies for plants. Okay, so let me put it here. This is for animals. And this is applying for plants only. Okay. All right. So that marks the end of our sharing for today. So I hope that you have benefited from my sharing, my video. So do keep a lookout for more, for other levels and topics that we'll be covering up soon. Thank you so much for watching.